Everything begins in the imagination. If you desire a new life, a new circumstance, a new version of yourself, you must first assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not when the evidence appears. Now, because consciousness is the only reality, and the outer world is but a reflection of the inner state. You must live in the end. Imagine yourself already there, already successful, already free, already in possession of all you seek. Walk in that state. Speak from it, think from it. Move through your day with a calm certainty that what you have imagined is already true, because to the imagination, nothing is impossible. And what is held in imagination with feeling and persistence will harden into fact. Do not wait for the world to confirm your dream. That is the old way. That is living in reaction. You are the cause, you are the operant power. So you must act not as one hoping, not as one trying, but as one who already is. Wear the mood of the wish fulfilled like a garment. Let it shape your thoughts, your actions, your conversations. Let it become your dwelling place. You may say, but I see no evidence. That does not matter. The seed is planted the moment you feel it real. Continue to nourish it through assumption, through faith, through repeated inner conversations that affirm your new reality. Your senses may protest, circumstances may appear unchanged, but that is illusion. The outer must bend to the inner. It cannot resist the power of a sustained assumption. So persist. Live from the place of having already received. Feel what you would feel if it were true. Would you not walk with more ease? Would you not smile differently, breathe differently, stand taller? Then do so. Make it real within, and the world will mirror it back to you in time with astonishing accuracy. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are conscious of being. So be it now. Act as if you have made it and you will. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to enter into a state of being that aligns with your desire as though it were already realized. It is not mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is the deliberate and disciplined use of your imagination to claim the reality of what you seek before any visible evidence appears. The world as you know it is shaped not by the events that occur, but by the state of consciousness you inhabit. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not looking forward to something happening. You are acknowledging that it has happened in your inner world, and you are now simply letting the outer world catch up. To feel something is real, you must go beyond words and mental images and step into the emotional tone of the experience. You must ask yourself, if this were true now, how would I feel? And then dwell in that feeling. Breathe it in. Carry it with you. Let it inform how you respond to life, how you carry your body, how you speak to others and to yourself. The feeling is the bridge between what is invisible. When you feel something deeply and persistently, it impresses itself upon the subconscious mind. And the subconscious, without argument or analysis, brings forth that experience into form. This is not about effort or strain. It is about surrendering to the reality of the unseen. Many people wait for the outer world to shift before they give themselves permission to feel joy, success, love, or peace. But the law of creation works in reverse. You feel it first, you embody it first, and then, like a reflection in a mirror, the world echoes your inner state. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to become the version of yourself who already possesses what is desired. That version of you already exists in consciousness. You are not creating anything new. You are selecting and embodying what already is. And through that selection, you allow it to become your lived experience. You do not need to know how it will happen or when. The conscious mind loves to cling to specifics, to plot and plan and control the unfolding. But that is not your work. Your work is to dwell in the state, to feel the reality of it so deeply that the outer appearance loses its power over you. If you desire freedom, then begin to feel free. Walk as one who is free. Think as one who is free. If you desire love, then begin to feel love. Speak as one who is cherished. Move as one who is already in a fulfilling, beautiful connection. If you desire abundance, then feel the relief, the ease, the gratitude of already having enough. Do not look at your bank account for confirmation. Look within. The inner world responds to your assumption with precision. And so if you feel lack, even subtly, even unconsciously, you will continue to receive experiences that match that lack. But if you assume abundance, not because you see it yet, because you know the feeling of it, you activate a new pattern. And that pattern must be reflected outward, for the world has no choice but to mirror your dominant inner state. There is a sacred simplicity in this practice. It requires no rituals, no outer displays. It is done in silence, in the stillness of your imagination. And yet it is the most powerful creative act you can undertake. You sit quietly. You close your eyes. You enter into the scene that would imply your desire is fulfilled, and you do not watch it as a movie. You participate in it. You hear the sounds. You feel the texture of the experience. You taste the emotion that comes from knowing it is done. You may see yourself shaking hands with someone who congratulates you. You may hear a loved one saying, "I'm so proud of you." You may simply feel a wave of relief, of joy, of contentment that flows through your body. That feeling, that emotional signature is the key. The feeling tones are not just emotions. They are frequencies, vibrations that inform the invisible matrix of life. When you sustain a particular feeling, you call forth experiences that match it. If you maintain the feeling of success, success flows to you. If you hold the feeling of being chosen, you will be chosen. If you live in the energy of wellness, your body aligns with health. This is not magic, it is law, and the law does not fail. But it does require faith. Not faith in an external force, but faith in yourself as imagination, as consciousness, as the operant power. Must believe that your inner world is more real than the outer one, because it is. The outer is the shadow. The inner is the light, and the light must be held steadily even when the shadow appears unchanged. You do not stop assuming because the world hasn't shifted. You continue assuming because you know that it must. So you return again and again to that feeling in quiet moments, in daily life, in conversations with yourself. You re-enter the state. You cultivate it like a sacred garden. And as you persist, something begins to change, not only around you, but within you. Your reactions soften, your fears dissolve, your vision sharpens. You begin to feel as if it is already done, and that feeling becomes so natural, so comfortable, that when the physical evidence finally arrives, it feels like no surprise. You knew. You felt it long before the world showed it. This is how life responds. Not to your hopes, not to your effort, not even to your desire alone, but to the state you dwell in. And that state is created and sustained by the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So live there, speak from there, think from there. And know that what you claim inwardly with full feeling and acceptance must unfold outwardly in its perfect time and form. To live in the end is to embody the reality of your desire as though it has already manifested. It is not an act of waiting or wishing for the future. It is the conscious choice to live from the place where your desire is already a fact. Most people are caught in a cycle of waiting for external circumstances to change before they feel differently, before they can experience the joy, peace, or success they seek. But the key to transformation lies in living as if your desire has already been fulfilled right now in the present moment. When you live in the end, you stop looking to the future for fulfillment. You stop believing that your happiness or success lies somewhere ahead of you, and instead you begin to experience it here and now. The power of living in the end is that you align your mind, body, and emotions with the state of having already achieved your goal. This creates a resonance that attracts the conditions, people, and circumstances that will bring about the physical manifestation of what you've already imagined. The reason many fail to manifest their desires is because they are constantly living in the state of wanting, needing, or desiring. This creates a vibration of lack. They are focused on the absence of what they want, not the presence of it. When you live in the end, you stop asking, "How can I get this?" or "When will this happen?" Instead, you begin to ask, "How does it feel to have this already?" You act as though you already have it, knowing that the outer world will follow your inner conviction. To live in the end, you must fully accept that the inner world of imagination is the true world, and the outer world is simply a reflection of it. What you believe and feel within yourself will inevitably appear in your experience. This means that you must not only think about your desire, but feel it deeply as though it is happening now. The feeling of fulfillment, success, love, or peace must become your dominant state. You must embody it so completely that you no longer question whether or not it will come. You know it has already come. This doesn't mean that the outer world will immediately conform to your assumptions. In fact, the outer world may appear unchanged at first, and this is where many people give up. They look at their current circumstances and think, this is not working. My situation is not reflecting what I want. But this is the moment where the true power of living in the end shows itself. You must persist. The outer world is not the cause of your experience. It is the effect. And as you maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the outer world must eventually shift to match it. When you live in the end, you adopt the attitude of one who is already successful, already loved, already healed. You move through life with the confidence and certainty that your desires are already a reality. You stop waiting for permission, for validation, for confirmation from the outside world. You no longer ask for signs or look for proof that what you've imagined is coming to pass. You live as though the manifestation is already inevitable. Living in the end also means that you do not let current circumstances dictate your emotional state. When you are focused on the end result, on the feeling of already having what you desire, the present moment is no longer defined by what you see or what others say. Your inner state becomes the most important thing, and you act from that place. This is where true freedom lies. The ability to live in the end means you are not a slave to the conditions around you. You are free to create, to imagine, to feel, and to experience life from the place of already having it all. Take, for example, someone W, who desires to be in a loving relationship to live. In the end, they would not sit around waiting for the perfect person to appear, nor would they dwell on the fact that they are currently single. Instead, they would begin to live as though they are already in that relationship. They would feel loved, cherished, and valued. They would radiate that love outward, carrying themselves as someone who is already in the relationship they desire. They would think, speak, and act from that state of being in love. By doing so, they are creating the conditions in their mind and body that will naturally bring that relationship into their reality. Living in the end also applies to the manifestation of financial abundance. To live in the end, one must not obsess over how money will come or when it will arrive. Instead, one must begin to feel abundant in the present moment. They must think, feel, and act as though they already have the money they desire. They would feel the security, the freedom, and the peace that comes with financial abundance. They would live as though they are already wealthy, knowing that their feelings of abundance will attract the circumstances and opportunities that match that state of being. Living in the end requires you to act with conviction, as if the manifestation of your desire is already complete. This doesn't mean that you fake it or pretend in an inauthentic way. It means that you consciously choose to embody the state of having already received what you want. You allow yourself to feel the emotions, the gratitude, the excitement, and the satisfaction that would come with already having achieved your goal. These feelings are not just wishful thinking. They are the powerful force that shapes your reality. In the process of living in the end, your perception of time also shifts. Instead of being caught in the belief that the future holds your desires, you recognize that the future is a reflection of your present state. Time becomes malleable because it is no longer a barrier to your desires. You are no longer waiting for the future to give you what you want. Instead, you are bringing the future into the present by living as if it is already here. Living in the end is not a passive act. It requires your full participation, your full belief, and your unwavering commitment to embodying the feelings of success, joy, love, and peace. Right now, as you live in the end, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the end result, knowing that the universe will respond to your state of being. The more you practice living in the end, the more natural it becomes. And eventually, the physical manifestation of your desires will unfold before you as if by magic, because you have already created it within yourself. Imagination is the most powerful force at our disposal. It is the gateway to creating anything we desire in our lives. The world we experience externally is not random. It is a reflection of our inner world. And the key to shaping that inner world lies within the realm of imagination. When you understand that imagination is not merely fantasy, but a living, breathing reality that shapes the physical world, you begin to realize its true power. Imagination is not just a passive activity, it is the active and conscious process of creating the life you wish to live. It is through your imagination that you first plant the seed of any desire. And it is through imagination that you nurture it until it becomes your reality. To truly understand the power of imagination, it is important to grasp that everything in the physical world began as a thought, a vision, or an idea in someone's mind. The chair you sit in, the phone you use, the clothes you wear, everything you encounter in your day-to-day life was once an idea in someone. Is imagination. The world around us, as real and solid as it may seem, is nothing more than a reflection of the collective imagination of all human beings. What we see as the world is simply a projection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions we hold in our minds. The first step in understanding the role of imagination in creating reality is to recognize that it precedes all physical action. Every outcome, every event, every situation in your life was first imagined. It doesn't matter whether the imagination was conscious or unconscious. The key is that it is imagination held with emotion and belief that creates the conditions in which events manifest. Whether it's success, love, health, or wealth, it begins with a mental image, a feeling, a vision of what you wish to create. To harness the power of imagination, you must first understand that the mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. To the mind, there is no difference between an experience that is physically happening and one that is vividly imagined. When you vividly imagine an experience, your mind registers it as real. This is why athletes often use visualization techniques to improve their performance by imagining themselves succeeding. They trigger the same neural pathways in their brain as if they were physically performing the activity. This is not limited to athletes. This is a principle that applies to all human experiences. When you vividly imagine success, health, love, or wealth, your subconscious mind begins to accept these mental images as truths and moves to create them in your physical reality. The key to making your imagination work for you is to engage it with feeling and belief. It's not enough to simply picture your desire in your mind. You must feel the emotion associated with the fulfillment of that desire. When you engage your imagination fully, when you feel the joy, relief, excitement, or peace of having what you desire, this emotional engagement acts as a powerful signal to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't just hear your words or see your images. It feels your emotions. The feeling you experience as you imagine the fulfillment of your desire is what makes it real in the mind. Once the subconscious mind accepts the image as true, it begins to work toward its manifestation in the external world. In the world of manifestation, imagination is the starting point, but is also the middle and the end. It's the entire process. What you imagine repeatedly with emotional engagement and belief eventually becomes your reality. This is the process of creation. You begin by imagining the end result, the outcome you desire. This end result exists in your mind as a vivid, clear picture, and it must be held with persistent feeling. You don't need to know how it will come about. You don't need to worry about the details. The how is not your concern. What you must focus on is creating the feeling of already having your desire. Every person's life is a projection of their dominant mental imagery. If you constantly imagine failure, lack, or illness, then that is what your life will reflect. If you imagine success, health, and love, then that is what your life will bring to you. Your mental imagery creates your emotional landscape, and that emotional landscape creates your experience of the world. The law of attraction works through this process of mental and emotional alignment. What you focus on grows, and what you imagine with emotional intensity must eventually show up in your experience. There is a natural tendency for people to doubt the power of imagination. They believe that because they can't see their desires with their physical eyes, they are not real. But the key to manifestation is understanding that the physical work is merely a shadow of the inner world. The real world, the world that creates everything, is within. The physical world follows the inner world. The more you imagine your desire with clarity and emotional intensity, the more the external world will conform to that image. It's important to remember that imagination does not require physical effort or manipulation of the outside world. It is the effortless creation of a mental image you can imagine at any time in any place under any circumstances. It does not require special tools or conditions. It simply requires focused belief and emotion. It can be done in the quiet of your own mind, in a moment of stillness, or while you're engaged in other activities. Imagination is always available to you,